doing? How'd you sleep? How is life treating you today? Hey, welcome back to my library, my little corner on the internet where we talk about all things books and all the good stuff. So, in today's video, I don't understand why the book is so far. Like, why do I do this to myself? Anyways, in today's video, we're gonna be reviewing The Ice Cream Girls by Dorothy Koomson. I keep saying the lady's name wrong and I'm so sorry guys. But we're gonna be reviewing The Ice Cream Girls by Miss Dorothy Koomson. Amen. I said it right. So my cousin gave me this book. She said it is one of her favorite authors, and I had to read this before I could borrow another book, which I want that she has. So, you know, a little bit of blackmailing, a little bit of intense persuasion that is going on there, but it worked. I read it, and this video is solely and dedicated to her. I read your book. So this is my reading journey. I'm trying to do this without doing spoilers. So you know what? From now on, spoiler alert. So I am currently 25% in this. Honestly guys, I can't stand this cover, and I saw, because I was searching for an image for the thumbnail, and I saw one of the covers. Not that I would pick it up if I saw it, but if someone gave me that book with that cover, I'll be like, okay, cool, I would read that, because the cover is cuter. Look at this, compared to this, like, no. But anyways, I am 25% into this book, or about quarter way in, and wow. I think it started so slow for me, but then again, I think the genre shift for me takes me a while for my brain to adjust to what I'm reading. But with regards to this, I think, wow. So, trigger warning, there's a lot of like grooming, sexual assault and physical abuse that takes place in this book, and I didn't know this beforehand. So I'm reading, and I'm literally reading step by step how they are grooming this girl or the men. But yeah, but anyways, also I can sort of predict like the ending of which is so sad. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. Like, I don't want to be right, I also want to be right, because I want to feel like a genius. But yes, I think it dealt so well with explaining the progression of how manipulation works, the progression of how grooming works, why these small girls fall for such older men. So I think it explained it so well, wrote it so well, and it's such a good development. They did not. I think one of the problems is that sometimes it's such a plot hole when it comes to like dealing with such subject matters. But this, we're literally going step by step into it. So we're like, okay, cool. I get it. I get where she is coming from and all that. So yeah, I'm super keen to see if I'm right about the ending though. But other than that, I think I'm enjoying it so far. It took me a while to start enjoying it, but I'm enjoying it so far, and we'll see how I feel about the rest of the book. So, about, I think, halfway through, almost like past halfway, maybe 75% in. So I'm almost there, I'm almost done. And so far, I I am liking Poppy's POV more than Serena's POV. I don't know. I am finding Serena as a character very boring. The only time I truly engage with Serena's like POV is when she is going through the past leading up to the events that led to obviously Poppy's imprisonment. So that's one of the reasons. Oh, my nose is itching. So that is one of those things. But I must say, I think the difference between Poppy and Serena is that with Serena's character, we truly see what the effects of trauma is on a person. And then with Poppy's character, however, we can recognize that there's some trauma there, but it's written in a way that her trauma developed in a different way because of obviously going to prison and whatnot. But yes, I don't know, it's just one of the things that is going through there. But I honestly adore Poppy's point of view, because I think it goes into the effects, the aftermath, more than Serena's point of view. But also it's due to the fact, obviously, different outcomes during the trial and all that. Now, however, Serena, for me, as a character, is just not doing it for me. I feel like she's very one-dimensional, whether it's due to the past influencing who she is. I'm trying to do this without doing spoilers. So you know what? From now on, spoiler alert. So, both Poppy and Serena were groomed by Marcus. But with Serena, she never mentions his name. She recounts the events that led up to, obviously, Marcus was murdered. Both these girls went through the same trauma, dealt with it differently. Serena as a character becomes very one-dimensional because, number one, she's hiding obviously what happened, the joint trauma that they went through. But number two, Serena is, I don't know, like, I think her only characteristic in the book is that she's a mother and a wife they're gonna get remarried. That for me is the only character trait that I see of hers. For me, Poppy has more of a character. She has more character development. She is more, I think with Serena, she's very one-dimensional, very flat as a character for me. But Poppy stands out more. Besides the trauma thing, if I strip that away, if I strip away the effects that trauma had on her life, and I strip away the shared event that she had with Poppy, then she is very one-dimensional. So hence why I'm not really enjoying her thing. However, like in the past, I think leading up to the events, hers goes more into detail into this is how it was and this is how it became. Whereas with Poppy's, it's very rainbows and sunshine. Yeah, so I think that's the two difference. And then obviously their relationship with each other in the past. My nose is very itchy today, so guys, you must just ow be mindful with me when I scratch my nose. But yes, I think that is just something that I'm noticing. Like, the book is nice. I'm enjoying it now. I'm enjoying it better than I did at the beginning, especially the first 25%. I struggled. I really struggled to get into it. But now that I am way past the 50% mark, I am enjoying it more. I'm still waiting to see whether I am right about the cliffhanger. Not cliffhanger, the ending. Not me saying cliffhanger. Sorry guys, I'm reading a fantasy book also at the same time. And it's a trilogy, so obviously it ends in a cliffhanger. I'm assuming it ends in a cliffhanger because most trilogies usually end in a cliffhanger. But yes, so it's been a very interesting read, this. But I think one gripe that I have with this book is the lack of trigger warnings. But not lack of trigger warnings, but forewarning, just any warning whatsoever, because if it did not go into detail in the point of views of the characters, into how they got to where they got to, I'd be like, okay, cool, it's just a recounting story. But they went into detail. I mean, obviously not things like the abuse, it's not graphic. The sexual assault, it's not graphic, it's alluded to. But I think my biggest gripe is the grooming, because that really where in the character's head, and we're going through it from day one until the very, very, very end, into when she falls in love with the person. So I think that's my biggest issue with this book. But other than that, it's like very well written, very well paced. So yeah, let's finish off the rest of the book, and then I will do a book review for you, my darling love. That's my cousin I'm talking to, by the way, because she has to watch this. She did not make me read this book with a cover I did not like for no reason. This is my evidence that I read it. And I do enjoy it. So yes, but I'm gonna finish it off, do my review, send this video to you, and yeah, and I hope everyone else, I'm also talking to you guys, you should actually check out the book. It is a good book. So let us finish this off. So obviously finished the book now, so let us review it. So as I said before, when I went into this book, had I think very low expectations because of the cover. Do not like this cover whatsoever. Let's just make it clear. But I like this edition's cover. I like this cover instead of, let me go get the physical books. I'll be back.
A few moments later.
Okay, so the cover that I have is this cover here, which, first of all, I just feel like this cover does not do the book justice. It doesn't do the genre of the book justice, because when you look at this cover, the first thing that comes to mind is chick lit. Yes, chick literature books. But I mean, it could be classified as chick lit, but I do it more in the thriller genre, or mystery. Not thriller, but mystery, in the mystery genre. And it's not a suspense at all. There's no suspense in this thing, there's no tension build up. It's more of a mystery. It gives whodunit vibes without whodunit. Without the same like concept, the same build up, the same aspect of whodunit. Like at the end of the day, we have two very strong women who obviously did something. The premise starts obviously with an accusation of murder, and both of them say they're innocent. They go through the memories, and both of them are so adamant about them being innocent. So now, as we're reading the book, we're trying to figure out like which one of them is really innocent. And anyways, so I read that and I was like, alright, cool, figured out. I don't figure it out, but I guessed. And I was right, by the way, about who the murderer is, but I'm not going to spoil it for y'all. And if I spoil anything else, I'm just a walking spoiler alert. I do it all the time, especially with shows. My sister be like, nah, I can't explain a show to anyone without spoiling what is about to happen. But you know why? It's because spoilers don't work on me. And that's a problem. So because spoilers don't work on me, I never know what is considered a spoiler. So because for me, something that I consider just like, it's just part of the story, is a spoiler to someone else. So yeah. Anyways, so how did I find this book? It was actually enjoyable. As I said earlier, it took me a while to get into, because I was reading Talia Hibbert here. So romances tend to be like fast paced. This is more medium pace, and the pace change for me was really, really getting to me. But once I reached like, I think 10 to 15% of the book, then it was like, okay, it's picking up. So I spoke about obviously liking one character's point of view more than the other. But as I was going like towards the end of the book, I think they had an equal balance of that. And I think that is because one of the characters loses everything. So because of that, this is only about like her whole character flaw for me was like, okay, we're gonna put that on the back burner, and we're gonna like talk about her as a person, because I hate the emphasis that they had on Serena and how it was just her family, her husband, her kids. Like, she is more than a mother and a wife. And I think when we speak about this book, she went through so much. And we, besides going into the past, besides seeing this one aspect of her character, like one trauma response that displays throughout the book, like it was introduced very early on in the book, besides that one trauma display, there's not a lot of like character development with her. Whereas with Poppy, she had like a strong character development. She was dealing with so much anger as a result of what happened to her, as a result of trying to figure out what the truth is, as a result of clearing her name. So with Poppy, there's this strong like character development, but I think it's because of the anger within her, it had to dive into these different aspects. And because obviously, spoiler, sorry, but because she came from prison, another thing that really played up with developing her character was adjusting to life outside of prison, adjusting um to all these things that come with life out of prison. I'm trying not to spoil it. I'm such a bad person. I'm not talking about things without spoiling it. I'm like, Jacobina, don't spoil it, don't say it. Anyways, so because of that, she basically goes through this character development journey. This, we grow with her. She is not very flat. She's not one dimensional, and we see the difference between her as a child and her as Poppy, a woman. Whereas with Serena as a child is slightly the same as Serena as an adult, and that for me is very problematic, because I mean, now she's a mother with children. How did that change? Now she is I don't know, how do I explain it? She's a mother with children. She has this traumatic past. Like, how does that influence anything? Like, even with her relationship with her kids, like, we don't see that trauma reflect on her relationship with her children. Like, it's like, how did that influence that relationship and all that? So I think Serena just needed a little bit more development in my eyes. But overall, I enjoyed the book. I am going to give it a 4-star rating. The writing is great. The pacing is amazing. There were no plot holes. It did not, I mean, the only problem is it's predictable. But to me, it was predictable. So I don't know if anyone else found it predictable. I just figured it out at the beginning. But then also, I might have a twisted mind. That might be the reason. Or I might have just read enough thrillers in my life to recognize certain patterns. So yes, and I solved the mystery. And well done to me, because I'm a genius, I'm clever, she's smart, guys. So yes, but for anyone who wants to check it out, I spoke about the trigger warnings, the grooming, the physical abuse, the sexual abuse. Like, they don't go into detail with those things, but they are mentioned. But the grooming, it is very detailed. Like, you go through the journey with the characters, and that for me, I think should have been a trigger warning. But I don't know if they had trigger warnings in books. When was this published? Wait, first edition. It was first published in 2010. So I don't know, I'm trying to remember. Okay, but I was reading YA in 2010, and I remember reading Speak, which is also another one, and that one deals with also the same trope of sexual abuse. I don't think there's grooming in Speak, but there was also no trigger warning in that. But I think the difference between Speak and this one is that they made it clear what the plot lines were, because this builds it up to be a mystery and it doesn't deal with like, okay, cool, this also happens in there. So I think maybe just a mention of that to the readers would prepare people for what they're gonna go through if that is someone else's trigger point. Yeah, but one thing I want to commend the author for, the author, is handling the topic of like grooming and adults, adult predator, adult predatory advances on children well. That much, like the subject matter was handled so nicely. It wasn't romanticized, which I love. Like, I know you're in the with the point of view of the person who's being groomed, and you can obviously, like, you're like, oh, she likes this boy, na na na, and all of that, you're going through the journey, but it wasn't made in a way that it's like, oh, this is such a cute relationship, I want a relationship like this. But it was more of a way of like, no, this is what happened and this is how it led to this and all that. So it was dealt beautifully. There was no romanticization of all of that, and that for me, I'm gonna commend Miss Dorothy. Why did I call her Catherine? Miss Dorothy Koomson. For that. I don't know why I almost called her Catherine in my mind. Okay, Jacobina. I don't know wanting to do things. So the book. Who do I suggest this book for? So I think this book, I'm going to suggest it for people who enjoy mysteries. Like, so if you're trying to get into the mystery genre, people like Agatha Christie, if you like whodunit stories. Yeah, so I feel like that is a good story for people like that. But if you're a thriller person, I feel like if you're a thriller person who wants a light-hearted read, you can also read this. But it's not really thriller. So that's why I'm like, it's very mystery, very whodunit vibes, but without the whodunit aspect, because whodunit is very clear at the beginning. It's like, this person died, here are all the suspects. Whereas, I mean, this is it. I think it provides the same like sort of narrative. It's like, this person died, here are the suspects, even if it's just two suspects. So yes, so overall, 4 stars for great writing, great storyline. Yeah, and the writing is very accessible. It doesn't have prose that is difficult to understand, because you don't have to like, there's no difficult interpretation with it. Did I give it 4 stars? I'm lying. I gave this 3.75 stars. Yes, which is 3 stars, but 3.75 stars. So yeah, that's a clear distinction. It could have been 4 stars if the writing was better, and it would have been 5 stars if I did not find the murderer predictable, if that makes sense. But yes, you guys should check it out. It's actually a good book. But check out the cover that I like, not this one. I don't like this cover. So check out The Ice Cream Girls by Dorothy Koomson. And to my beautiful, beautiful cousin, I read it. Thank you. I enjoyed it. And will I read more Dorothy Koomson in Koomson? Why do I keep saying her name wrong? Would I read more Dorothy Koomson in the future? I think there is, I feel like if I am reading like a book and I'm looking for like a very like light, this is light-hearted, not light-hearted. If I'm looking for like maybe a fast-paced or just something to read in between books, maybe, if someone suggested. But I think the thing that really puts me off of books is the covers. But other than that, the content inside, amazing. So yes, I just don't like the outside package, but the content inside, amazing. So, thank you. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll be seeing you. Please like, subscribe, follow, share with a friend who might like this book. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.